سلام خدمت دانشجویان عزیز. صدای من رو دارین؟
بله صداتون میاد.
ممنون. خب بچه الان یه مشکلی پیش اومده بود تو در واقع شیر کردن صفحه من که خب الان همکارا درستش کردن و ادامه مبحث آداب پزشکی 2 رو با هم در واقع استارت رو میزنیم و شروع میکنیم. خب هفته پیش من در مورد تیم ورکینگ and group working I'm talking about جان
فقط بقیه فارسی بلد نیستن. هومورک هم نفرستادیم برام.
نه من هومورک رو شاید جلسه بله جلسه بعدی که درستون تموم میشه، در واقع توی 4 جلسه که آداب 2تون تموم میشه، من هومورک رو کامل براتون میفرستم و بهتون فرصت میدم که اون رو برای من ارسال بکنید.
ممنون.
خب I'm talking today about conflict management skills and management of conflict in about 2 person or about 2 groups. What is conflict? Conflict is a process that begins when one party perceives that another party has negatively affected or is about to negatively affect something that the first party cares about. Conflict is an inevitable and unavoidable part of our everyday professional and personal lives. We have to conflict in communication or when we join with another person or another group, we have to conflict because every person have a special idea and so sometimes it has a conflict about with another. Types of conflict. Sometimes we have interpersonal conflict. It refers to a conflict between 2 individuals. Causes are due to being different from one another and can result from having incompatible choices and opinions. Sometimes we have group in conflict. Group conflict separated to 2 type of conflict, intra-group conflict and inter-group conflict. Intra-group conflict, it is a type of conflict that happens among individuals within a team. The incompatibility and misunderstanding among these individuals lead to an intra-group conflict. Differences in views and ideas. Intergroup conflict takes place when a misunderstanding areas among different teams within an organization. This is due to the various sets of goals and interests of these different groups. Do you understand about conflict? Some of yes, okay. We continue. Causes for conflict is causes for conflict are several, and we have several causes for conflict. For example, one, poor communication; two, personality conflicts; three, opposing interests; four, differing values; five, competition; six, lack of planning; seven, poor staff selection; eight, lack of empathy; nine, desire for power; and 10, ignorance. They are very important when we have conflict into group or interpersonal. So important things of conflict management is prevents a fight in the first place rather than facing its negative consequences, provides a middle ground, an alternative to any problem, and successful implementation of the idea, plays an important role in our personal lives, and conflict strengthens the bond among students and friends. These things or these action, it's very important in conflict management. So when we have one of them, one of action, we very we have a successful management for conflict. Meaning of conflict management: the process of limiting the negative aspects of conflict while increasing the positive aspects of conflict. This sentence have negative aspects and positive aspects of conflict. So when we have conflict, we have two aspects of conflict: negative and positive, and we uh, and for us it's important limiting the negative aspects of conflict and increasing the positive aspects of conflict. We effort this. The aim: enhance learning and group outcomes, including effectiveness or performance in institutional settings and personal lives. So, conflict management can be approached using a variety of different styles. While these styles may differ, every method utilizes the same management skills. To successfully manage conflict, you will need to hone each of these skills and learn the right time to exercise each one. It is very important. We will need to each of this skill for management of conflict and learn the right time. It's very important. Learn the right time to exercise each one. Below are some of the core skills and characteristics that you will need to adopt if you want to effectively manage workplace conflict. One of them, and very important of them, is active listening. Active listening focuses on being attentive to what the other person has to say. This skill is commonly used by sales people to better connect with customers during a pitch, but but it's also a universal competency that any consummate professional should master. So, active listening is a very important in communication, or for a universal competency that any consummate professional should master. Two, it is emotional intelligence, or EI or EQ. We know about IQ, but in communication and for management of conflict, we must have emotional intelligence or EQ. Emotional intelligence describes the ability to perceive and understand other people's emotions as well as your own. It's very, very important sentences. So, emotional intelligence, define of emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive and understand other people's emotions as well as your own. This skill is essential when managing conflict because it prevents the situation from escalating. If you can effectively interpret your opposition's emotions, it's be easier to communicate with them without provoking them. So three is patience. Conflicts are rarely simple to overcome. If they were, there wouldn't be 22,000 people searching for conflict resolution on the internet each month. Is a big score or big number for people searching conflict resolution in the internet. Conflict resolution is so difficult because people don't like to be wrong and will often hold their stance on an issue because of it. If you're looking to resolve a conflict with a person like this, you'll need patience. And four is impartiality. And five is positively. It's hard to come to agree on a solution if no one is happy about it. Even if you do agree, a half-hearted compromise don't motivate you to actually follow through on your end of the bargain. This can even provide a participant with an excuse to avoid dealing with the conflict altogether. 6. Open communication. Another reason conflict can be difficult to resolve is because they don't always stay focused on the conflict itself. The conflict can sometimes serve as an opportunity to air previews grievances that have developed between the involved and these sentences is very important. We have so we have to some of this skill when for conflict resolution. One of them, use yes and statements. Don't talk behind people's backs. Don't important in communication is non-verbal communication with face or is resolving the conflict over of the relationship. Uh, so some of important sentences in the conflict resolution is remember the important model of conflict resolution. Assertiveness and unassertiveness and cooperative and uncooperative. No, when in right time assertive to unassertive. Accommodating in Zoom of cooperative and unassertive, avoiding in Zoom of assertive and uncooperative, and competing zoom of assertive and uncooperative. In mitigating conflict, generally, this is an wrong for just I and when we have we use one of the collaborative style of conflict resolution. This strategy is both cooperative it's not uncommon for a competing conflict resolution to a solution. Time is of the essence, and there is no time to hear everyone's concept decision that works for the time being. So we have is very important is a strategy in appropriate time or in right time. Causes for conflict. Mm, aspects of conflict while increasing the positive aspects of conflict is very important. For example, active listening, emotional intelligence, or and open communication. Some of skills I explain about them. These sentences is very important for conflict resolution. And the end, we have some strategies for conflict resolution. This strategy is important because we have a Thomas Kilmann model of conflict resolution. 5 strategy describe this in this model, and I explain about some about one of we have for conflict resolution strategies. We have for Zoom, and we have 2 axes from cooperative to uncooperative and from assertive to unassertive strategy in the conflict resolution. Okay. I explain about